Okay, so we're going to talk about watercolor painting. And as you can see, I'm all set up. I have my own little setup right here of watercolor paints, and a little either paper towel, or we have some recyclable little pads that you can use. So you're going to need your water. Mine's a little dirty because I already was doing some painting earlier. But it's not too dirty, because if you look and you drip it on the sides, you can see it's running clear. So you can see it's clear water. Okay, so we're going to learn how to paint with watercolors. So the first thing you're going to want to do is dip your paintbrush into the water, and you're going to, I like to say, activate your paint. So you're going to put a little bit of water into the paint, and you're going to rub it around, and you're going to get that paint a little bit thicker. So once it's thicker and you get some on your paintbrush, and you don't need much, you're going to just wipe it on the lip of the paint so that you can get some of that paint off, because you don't need lots and lots of paint. And then you're going to start painting. I like to start on the edges, along the lines here, and I go slow and careful, because if I go too fast, I tend to make a mistake. And I get along my oil pastels. Now, what do you notice is happening with the oil pastels? It's painting, but it's not painting over, and it's not bleeding into the other area, because the oil in the oil pastels resists. This is called an a resist painting, and it resists, or it stays away from, or it doesn't allow the paint to mix with the oil pastel. We need a little bit more. We can get a little bit more paint. Oh, we got quite a bit of water in there, so we don't need any more water. So we're going to make sure we wipe some of that off. And we're going to paint. See how we can stretch that paint and get it all the way over here on the paper. We don't need too much. We don't want it to make puddles. So we're going to get our paint all on all of the sections on the top part of the line, in between the lines, and we're going to do all the lines first. And then when we're all done with this, oh, look how much I got lots of paint there. So I want to spread that out. I don't need any more paint. This should stretch all the way to the end of my paper, because I forgot to wipe it on the lip. So gotta be careful, because I don't need lots and lots of paint. And then we stretch it out. We can look at it, can even make it darker. Look at that, how beautiful that looks. Okay, so then we're going to do this section, and this section, and this section, and down here. And when we're all done with those, then we're going to get to our shapes. Now look what happened. You can see that the lines that we made to write our name, see how we used lines to write our name? It formed into some shapes. The shapes are made when we have lines that connect to each other. So here's what we're going to do first. We're going to take our paint. Oh, we still got a lot of yellow paint. So we need to swish, swish, swish and get all that paint off. Kind of rub it on the bottom, but you're not going to push so hard that you ruin those brushes. Okay, so we're going to wipe the brush, and you can see that it's clear along there. You can even blot it to look and see, and I don't see any color coming on my paper. So that means that my paint brush is all cleaned off. So I'm going to start with my first color. I'm going to pick a color. I don't care which color. Any color can make the first shape. So I'm going to just choose red, and I need maybe a little bit more water. So I'm going to swish that in there, get it all mixed up, and get that paint to start being a little bit watery. And then I'm going to rub it along the lip here, get some of that paint off, and I'm going to do my first shape. See how these lines and the edge all make a shape? So I'm going to make this shape right here, and I'm going to go along the edges, and I'm going to go along the line here. You can see how even though I go on the line a little bit, it doesn't cover up my purple, because the oil pastel keeps it from covering. And there I have my first shape, and you can see this looks like the shape of a rectangle. You're right, it's a rectangle. So I'm done with that shape. So now I'm going to do another shape that my name made. My name's going to make lots of shapes here. So the next one I'm going to go to I think I'll use orange. I'll just go down the line. You can do any colors you want. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it. And then I'm going to rub my paint on the lip of the paints so that I can just get a little bit of paint so we don't have a big puddle. And I'm going to make another shape here. And what shape does this one look like? You bet, it's a triangle. Good job. So I'm going to keep going until I have the whole thing all done.